Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live training of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa. On behalf of Cerenade, thank you for joining us today. So today we're going to talk about how to maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. I know we just have 1 hour, and I wish I could show you everything to, really have you maximize your investment. One of the things that I always recommend clients, no matter if you've been using the system for years or if you're new, it's take it one step at a time. Also, remember this is being recorded. We have the video available later in our YouTube channel. And also we have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you today. You can download it. And so I say this because I don't want you to try to go along and then you do it and then you missed the explanation, or you probably feel like I'm going too fast. So just try to absorb as much content as you can, but then later, once you start practicing, where to click, where to go, you will have questions. That's normal. And we have a technical support team to assist you. You can give us a call, you can email us. We're going to go over the resources and support options that you guys have, but it's important that you take it one step at a time, because if you try to accomplish everything, you're going to feel overwhelmed, and that's the least thing we want to do. So anyways, and this is for anything, not just the software. Let's just go one step at a time. um, we have a chat or questions where you can message me. So even if it's not related to what we're covering, again, the reason why we're here is so that you maximize your investment. So let's get started. E-immigration is not just for forms. How many of you probably have another system thinking that e-immigration doesn't have, the capabilities to manage your cases or deadlines, calendar report, and they're just using the tip of the iceberg. They're just using it for forms. Yes, e-immigration has the best technology for forms population, but it doesn't mean that it's just for forms. So if you are not aware of that, explore, play with the system and see what you've been missing out. Plus, you can save a lot of money. You don't need to pay other softwares to do whatever, you need to do, because e-immigration has it already. All right, so let's talk about how to properly create cases. I'm going to switch the screen. Well, before I continue, let me quickly show you the whole content. We're going to talk about also reminders and how to track your deadlines, how to check updates and use this dashboard we call Tickler so that you see what's going on with your firm, and also how to customize overviews, the alternate view to capture data, and how to customize forms, and obviously how to send them, and how the data populates as well. And lastly, I'm going to show you briefly how to create reports and schedule, the reports to save you time, letter templates, and the document assembly. I am pretty sure that at least one of you has not used the document assembly, or that you're probably just sending clients a Word document to gather data instead of using our questionnaires. All right, so we have a lot to cover. Let me switch my screen. It looks like I've got a question. Let me see. Oh, hi. It's a greeting. Welcome. Good to see you here from West. We're in Los Angeles, California. All right. So, um, the first thing I want to show you is how to properly create cases. You know what? Things have been enhanced in immigration, where now if you create a case, you'll see that you have even like area of practice, and you can make these mandatory, these drop-down menus or selections. Now, the way that you properly create a case is by starting with creating the contact. And the reason why, so that you can link that prospect or client to the case. I have already created the contact. I have it right here. And by this time, I probably just have like the basic information, or I've sent her a questionnaire. The idea is that I have created a contact profile, and I have also linked her family members. See, for example, she has children or parents, or her spouse, a joint sponsor, anyone that technically will be present on the forms, even if you're not completing their forms, like beneficiaries or derivatives, but you have to transfer their data as well. So we call them members. And once you have that, when you click on create case, or on the right hand side, you can see also cases. Here you can have the option as well, create case. Eventually, you have a client with multiple matters or processes in one place, right? But I'm going to show you how to create the case. And again, if you want your staff to make sure they select the process, for example, maybe you haven't done this before, but you can customize the processes or matters. Did you know that you can use eIMMIGRATION for non-immigration cases? We have clients that use it for divorce, like personal injury. It's not just for immigration. And so if you go into your administrative portal, you can customize these options. It's actually faster for you to just click and go instead of searching through the list and finding the process or matter that you need. So I recommend that you access your admin and click on case processes to modify this. Anyways, I'm going to choose my location. Another thing, again, if you want to split maybe cases by different locations or different businesses, maybe you have, because we do have clients that handle, even like notary services, translations. It's not just for immigration, like I said. All of these can be customized, especially if you are a nonprofit organization. You should be customizing, for example, the type of grants, or even if you just want to use it to know what the process is, in process or interrupted, pending, completed. So you can also customize it for your report purposes. Area of practice, category. Let me pick the process and click next. Also, even like where's the actual physical, like the document? It's in room 3, cabinet A. I mean, trust me, little things like that are going to save your time, because in the future, when you are looking for something, you know exactly where to go, or just for your team to be organized. Um, Also, of course, your info as a preparer or attorney will transfer to the forms, and then you've got the role. So to create the case, you have to select the actual case role, such as petitioner and beneficiary. We recommend alien just because it's faster. This is internal. Your clients won't see that terminology. But again, you can even use other or beneficiary. It's just to save you a couple of clicks. And then click next. You'll see the forms checklist. You can always remove a form, or you can always add a form by typing the number. And then click next, or sorry, create. So this is how you properly create a case. Now, I usually recommend that you click on the name of the person, the client, so that you can access both her contact profile with the case profile. Let's see. Next item in my list is reminders. This is huge. Again, how are you doing it? I've talked to clients that say, well, I handle my reminders on Excel. Yes, but then you have to go to your Excel, enter the data, and then it's a waste of time, because even though here, for example, I can create or enter the data in the reminder section, I can easily just download a report in Excel or PDF with all those reminders. So maybe it's time for you to start using the reminders here. Now, notice that you can create a reminder at the case level, or you can also create a reminder at the contact level. Either or, the ability to create the reminders in both sections, it's super helpful. And also, I want you to know that you can customize them, meaning these categories. Instead of just saying, I have a deadline, well, you can be super specific and customize these options so that when you get that email reminder or text message, you know exactly what this is for, and it's a lot easier for you to prioritize. Give me one quick second. Sorry about that. I'm getting calls. So yeah, the way that you can customize these reminder types or categories is by going into your admin portal, which is on the top right corner. You'll notice that it says settings and then admin tools. I like to right click and open in a new tab so that I can go into that tab. And then you'll notice that once you get to the admin, you have types right here. So type of reminders, type of logs, and this is where you need to click on case reminder or client reminder types. And then just add or insert or delete, edit. You can also drag and drop. Anyway, so this is, I think, one of the key um, actions, I guess, to maximize your investment is it's customizing the system from your admin portal. So I know it might seem tedious, but trust me, it's never too late. Go into your admin, explore. If you don't know, reach out for help. Just say, hey, what is this for? How do I do this? Is it possible? Just ask us so that we can help you. But I think that the way you can maximize your investment is by customizing the system. Get rid of the stuff that you don't need, or add, other custom fields, for example. Use it to grow your practice. All right, so going back to the case worker portal, if I need to create a reminder, I'm going to click on reminders and add the reminder, select the category. Let's say we have a court, well, I always use court date. You're probably sick of that example. Let's say biometrics appointment check. All right, so I have to do that on November 3rd. I would like the system to notify me, maybe via text message. You need to be subscribed to this module. But let's say email. I want to get an email a day before at 8 a.m. And I'm responsible, but I also want to CC either my assistant or CC a client, which is what I'm going to do. CC my client so she knows that the next day we're going to be checking her biometrics appointment, and I'll just enter the details for that reminder. So she's going to also get that email. Did you notice that I didn't click completed? Do not enter the completed date, because that means that you've done, you're done with that task. And so just leave it blank. So that's how the system knows, you haven't done this. Obviously, when you do the biometrics appointment check, then you enter the completion date. Now, every time that you guys create a reminder, you can see that in your tickler. So if you go to tools, click on tickler, this is where you can see not just your reminders, but also if you click the box, you can show the data for all your case workers. And this is where you can check, well, in the next, well, this is customizable, but it'll say in the next 15 days, 60, 90 days, I can see what we need to do, who's responsible, and when we need to do it. So you can plan ahead, especially if you know that your staff is going to be out. For example, someone has to review the client I-485 forms and gather the documents by the 22nd, then I can delegate. All right, so this is a tickler. Again, this is customizable. If you haven't done it, meaning customize it, go to your settings under user preferences, and you'll notice that we have a tickler section where you can change the settings and the layout. All right, so I have it even like -5 to see in the last 5 days, did we miss anything? Trust me. I mean, I always put myself in your shoes. If I was an attorney or a solo practitioner, what would I do if I have so many things that I have to remember? I can't fathom, like, how do you guys do it if you don't have the help? And so this is a great tool. Oh, another thing is that you can maybe make this like your default start page. Like your tickler can be the first thing that you see. If you go to your settings, click on user preferences, and then you'll see it right here, default start page. So the tickler, or maybe it could be your calendar or your case search, what is the first thing that you want to see when you log in into eImmigration? So again, each of your users can set up that. All right, next, how to keep track of your staff's productivity. Again, I can remember and I can be on top of, I don't want to forget a step, or if a paralegal is out of the office, how do I know if they have done what they were supposed to do? So it's really easy if you customize your process steps. The process steps are, this is definitely not a good example. Give me 1 second. Let me show you guys a different matter. So the cut, the process steps. I'm trying to find. Sorry about that. Let me see if this is a good example. Yay. Okay. Anyway, so process steps are kind of like your timeline. Think of it like the workflow or your to-do list. Each office works differently, so we always recommend that you customize these. And again, that's from your admin portal. Go to your case processes, and you'll notice that we have these process steps for each of these matters. It doesn't matter if it's a personal injury case or like this one, work permit service. Doesn't really have to be immigration only, but each of the matters or services that you guys offer has a checklist for the documents or the forms, the steps, questionnaires, everything. So again, go to your admin and make sure that it's reflecting exactly how you want stuff to be done. And your staff, think about it. If you're a new paralegal and they give you this checklist, it's a lot easier to know what you're doing because it's super clear. You have a timeline, and all you have to do is select the start date. I'm going to start next Monday. They're giving me 7 days to prepare the I-45 forms and forward to client, blah, blah, blah. So as long as you guys enter the start date and you have a number here, which is the expectation, how many days, what's the time frame? How many days do we have to complete this task? And as long as your staff creates or adds the start date, the system auto-populates the target date. Let me do it again. Let's say next Monday, we also have to review the client documents and prepare, blah, blah, blah. So now I know that by November 19th, we have to finish this. And leave the end date blank because, again, that's like the completion date. We haven't done it yet. But who's the caseworker who's responsible? I'm going to say Araceli and then Freddie, Araceli, Araceli. So you can choose who's responsible. Now, if you want to add someone else to this list, just go to the caseworkers, add it, and then come back. This box where it says auto email, it means that whoever checked the box, for example, Araceli wants to receive an email reminder by November 6th if she hasn't done this. So it will be an email reminder that goes to this person, not the client. Of course, when they're done, they just click complete it, or they can enter the end date. Maybe I finished this yesterday, so it's done. And that's how the system can show you what's been done, or maybe if this was overdue, then you can also see it because it's going to be in red. Let me show you. Anything that's overdue, it's going to be in red. And of course, all of these target dates reflect in your tickler. And so again, this is how you can check, well, what's been done, because you can also run a report. Show me all the process steps that have been completed in the last 15 days or what's coming soon in the next 30, 60, 90. Oh my God, I need to change that overdue at 660. Okay. All right. So oh, let me go back because there's also a feature that you guys have. Again, you probably haven't seen it yet, but it's called activities. That's also going to save you time. If you go to your process steps, all right, so let's say that we want, I'm going to add a couple of, even if you have a 0, that's fine, but it's going to give you the same day, unless of course you change that. All right, I'm going to save this. I've got my process steps, but I would like the system to save me time by adding an activity. So click on select activity and then program that. Meaning when I need to notify the billing coordinator and distribute the invoice, I would like the system to perform an action on my behalf automatically. So I'm going to automate this. When do I want this to happen? Maybe when the process step is completed or when it starts a few days after or before. So I'm going to say 5 days before the target date, add expenses. So by the time that we need to create the invoice, I already have some items to add to the invoice. And then this is going to be an adjustment of status flat fee, or I mean, you can change this. Um, and then of course select the, let's say 5,000. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of like pre-add it, and it's gonna add it 5 days before the target date. Now, I can add more than one activity. For example, when the process step is completed, send me an email. I would like to know, notify attorney that invoice was created. Something like that. FYI, invoice created. And then send it to, you can choose the attorney, or maybe CC the client or anyone. So this is going to be sent automatically when the process step is completed. See? Let me close this. All right, so right here, when they click here, complete it, then the email goes out. A few days before, which we said 5 days before this date, that's when the system creates those expenses over here automatically. So by the time my billing coordinator creates and distributes the invoice and she says done, then I get the email. So imagine how much time you can save by scheduling an activity, and it could be send a questionnaire, send an email, add a note. So that can be done automatically. And you can customize them by default in general if you go to the administrator portal. If you have questions, like I said, let me know. Or you can also download my PowerPoint presentation. I have the videos here where you can learn more about all of these tasks and features that I'm talking about, because I know it's a lot. I don't blame you, but I mean, it's one step at a time, like I said. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later. We have clients that started with 1, 2 users, and they have increased the number of licenses because their practice is growing. And I think it makes sense. If you are organized and you don't have to be micromanaging, you can let go and then focus on what matters. All right, so check case status updates. So that I'm gonna show you a real receipt. I can show you what I'm talking about. When you create a case and click on documents, you'll notice that we have immigrant visas or notices. When you add the receipt, enter all the details, then the system can help you track it, especially if you are subscribed to the Times Tracker optional module. We email you when the case is eligible for processing. But here, even if I wasn't subscribed to that optional module, I can click on the link for the receipt number, and it's going to give me the USCIS case status, English or Spanish. So I can even copy that to my logs so that in the future you have a record that we checked the status on this date. And if I need to send that via email to my client, she knows her case has been approved. Okay. All right. So now, oh, now I'm going to show you how to customize the client overview. Now, back then, meaning years ago, we've had this case overview, but we didn't have a client overview. And it's really nice that now you can customize it. So for example, I can see kind of like a snapshot, like what's going on with my case, when was the case created, the type of matter, case workers, who's a petitioner, everything, how much time we've spent on forms, all the reminders or logs. You have everything in one place, documents, even like the process steps. Or I can also click on that, whatchamacallit, let me go back. I think I closed the other case, the receipt. So I can go straight to that. Anyway, so that case overview, super helpful. You can print it. The only thing is this is not customizable. The one that you can customize is the client overview. So if you go to the contact profile, click on client overview, you'll notice that, for example, mine has just the basic general info. I do have reminders that are just related to court hearings, or I may have the I-94s. So what's important to you? It might not be the same thing that matters to your paralegal or your billing coordinator. So each of your users get to customize that if they click on settings, user preferences, and then go to the client overview. This is where you can remove or you can add another block. Now, if you want to have this by default for every single user, go into your admin and then customize it under application settings. We have the same thing under client overview. So that way, everyone who has not yet customized their own sees exactly what you have um, defined that. All right. So that can be printed as well. So if I go to the, oops, give me 1 second. If I go to the contact profile and I click on client overview, I can print it too. Maybe it's a good exercise to keep that in their folder. Is there any way we can automatically run an alien number to see if there's an upcoming hearing? Yes. Yeah, you can go to the advanced search. Let me close this. Check your subscription. So if you click on the settings under subscription details, make sure that you have custom reports. That's what I suggest that you do, because that way you can search by alien number and it will give you all the appointments, not just for core hearings, like consultations, or and you can customize it. So make sure that you have an expiration date for custom reports. If you don't, it's because you're not subscribed, but the good news is that you can get away with just running an advanced search. So just to quickly show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to click on custom and I'm going to add my own criteria, which is individual client, general info, alien number. Mm, sorry, I think it was supposed to be client, general. Here it is. Uh, no. Am I not seeing it? If you guys see it, let me know. I think I'm going too fast. First name. Oh, it's right here. What was I thinking? All right, so it is individual client. General info, alien number. Equal to, starts with, contains. So maybe I should just use contains, because what if you missed a number or if you don't have a letter or whatever, so you can do contains. Unless you want to super strict and say equal to or starts with. Then the columns, this is where you're going to choose calendar, appointments, and then the type of appointment has to be, let me add the criteria, because you, let me read the question one more time. You want upcoming hearings. Okay. So maybe if you want to narrow down your search, you can say calendar appointments, type equal to, and then you can choose, you know, hearings, or so it's up to you. But you can customize the report, or in this case, the advanced search if you're not subscribed, and then pick whatever you want. I want to see the client's name, so I'm going to pick that. I also want to see the appointment date. So subject, location, start date. And let me move this up. The client's name goes first. I want to see the type of appointment, when it starts, and maybe who's responsible, who's going to that appointment, that core hearing. So calendar appointment and responsible, or the user. One of your sorting options has to have ascending or descending. So maybe let's use that start date. And I'm going to run my search. I really don't have an alien number. I hope that I have one person with at least 123. Yes, I do. All right, so it looks like we have the name of the client, which you can click on, the type of appointment, and the date. And so definitely you need to narrow it down and change that and say the appointment has to be in the next 30 days or something like that. So that way you don't get appointments that you don't need. So start date must be this year, this week, this month. I'll say just monthly appointments. Then no wonder I got 80 something records. Yep. Let me change that. But you get the idea. Let me know if this was clear to you or if you have questions. Probably don't have anyone with 1, 2, 3 in the next year, but yeah. All right, so the answer is yes. All right, if you have any other questions, let me know. We have a chat where you can message me. So remember also that you can download my PowerPoint presentation, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to use the alternate view, the questionnaires, and how to populate forms. All right, so we can help you work more efficiently. Let's talk about the alternate view. What is the alternate view? All right, so when you create a contact, you'll notice that we have on the right hand side a green, not a green button, the one below, alternate view. This alternate view is where you can access the questionnaires instead of sending them or instead of printing them. Maybe the client is not tech savvy, or you simply just have the client on the phone and you want to ask them questions, or face to face is like, let's go through your consultation and ask you about asylum questions. So you can open the questionnaire or intake forms. We provide you with standard questionnaires or system intake forms, or you can create your own and customize them. This is an example of a customized questionnaire. I can open that questionnaire via alternate view. The only thing though is that you can't translate, at least not yet, but you'll see that in English. If you send it or print it, you can also see the language options. So anyway, so I can see the data that I have already captured. Now let's say that I realize that this is incorrect, and or this, his name is not Frank, but Francisco. I'm gonna modify that. And how about his date of birth? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use my mom's birthday because today's her 62 birthday. So I'm gonna honor her. Let's say save, and I'm gonna close. Wait a minute. Save. Okay. All right. So it's been saved. Now I can close the form. Why is it? It's giving me that I haven't saved the changes. Interesting. Maybe this is a bug. But let's double check. If I go to her members, yeah, it did change. So now I see that the husband's profile reflects the correct name and the correct date of birth. All right. So if you use the alternate view, the benefit also is that you can choose that questionnaire. For example, I'm going to look at the general information for the individual client for Francisco, and I'm gonna make a copy. I can print it so my client can see all the details that that we have captured, and he can correct them. Maybe while they're waiting in the lobby, so I can just change that. Okay, so that's the alternate view. Now let me show you how to, where did it go? Oh, anytime that you guys make changes from the alternate view, now we keep track of them. If you go to the document section and click on alternate view, there's going to be a record. It shows you the template that you use, when did you create it, and you updated this questionnaire today. So if you make modifications now through the alternate view, now there's a record. We didn't have this before, and imagine clients, or sorry, paralegals were changing data from the alternate view, and so now you have at least a record when what questionnaire was utilized and what changes. Let me show you how to customize your questionnaires. I'm not going to go into detail because we do have, if you go to our YouTube channel, we have videos here that you can look at to show you how to customize questionnaires step by step. Or you can also click on the user's guide and you can watch the video there. But anyways, let me guide you through the process. You have to access your administrator portal. You need to click on custom form templates, and then you want to click on intake forms. I suggest that you use what's already created under system intake forms instead of creating one from scratch. For example, I would like a TPS questionnaire. So I'm going to use what's already under TPS. I'm going to make a copy of it and then change the name. I'm just going to call it, I don't know, 821 TPS questions or initial intake form for, of course, initial intake form for a TPS. So now on the left, I can add questions, even like repeated sections. For example, these are the have you ever? So all the questions related to TPS. But I also want to add if this client has ever used other names, the previous addresses, or their marriage history, employment history. So you can add sections or questionnaires in this intake form. You can probably delete areas that you don't need. For example, client children. I'm going to ask my client to provide information about her children, but I really don't care for the child's like title. So get rid of that, or their maiden name, or their marital status, their fax number. So you can get rid of stuff that you don't need, right? Just keep it simple. What exactly do we need from the child's um, profile? Obviously daughter, son, the name, etc. So that's it. And then the layout, you can add a header, description. You can make it pretty, even like adding your logo to the questionnaire, or you can even create custom questions. Like, let me add one at the bottom. I don't want this question to be all the way at the bottom. I'm gonna change it to number 1. And then the question will be the country under they are seeking asylum, or like, the TPS. So I'm going to choose the option. Is this going to be a date? Am I asking for a phone number or a numeric value, or just, short text? So you can create your custom fields, and you can map them or connect them to your actual questionnaire so that they transfer and they stay in the system. So here's where you just need to select the category. It's a client custom field, and I'll just search for it, country. Uh, Maybe it's not. I think I had one under like TPS. Oh, this is a TPS fee. Anyways, uh, so this is exactly what you need to. Let's say change my custom fields. Give me one quick second. This is why you want your custom fields to be super clear. In the administrator portal, you create your custom fields. And so if you notice the name or the title of the custom field, you know, they have to be, I think this is the one that I was looking for. Name of designated TPS country. All right, so let me go back. Interesting. It's not, I know why. Because my custom field, this one, it's a drop-down menu. So technically I should have done like a multiple choice or single choice, not a text. I'm glad that it happened to me right now, so that when it happens to you, you know how to troubleshoot. So you just go back and then change that under the field section. It's not a short text. So let me just copy this and choose a single choice. And my question is going to be, it has to map my custom field. So the way that you create it here, which is Venezuela, El Salvador, Nicaragua, so you just, you can technically do what I like to open multiple tabs, copy from one, paste it on the other screen, and then just add, switch back, copy. I don't know if you know this, but if you do on your keyboard Control C or Control V, it's faster. So anyways, I'm just gonna add a couple. Once you have that, it should let you link it or map it. Let me delete the one that says short text. For those that are joining us now, I am in the process of creating a custom intake form, and I'm showing how to connect my custom field to the system. So it should let me add it now. Here we go. Name, TPS country under which you are applying. And I can also make the question required. Let's preview it. So we see how the logo shows up here and the question. You can even number the question. So now my client can choose the option. And it can transfer to the actual government form. You can map it. But today, I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna cover. You can just save. I'm not gonna save this one. Um, we do have videos that explain all these steps in more detail, so you can watch that. But I wanted to give you a general idea. The fact that you can create your custom fields and questionnaires and even add them in a different language. Let me go back so I can show you the language option. It was the last step. So when you create a questionnaire, if you click on translations, you can enable and then choose the option. So if I want this to be available in Korean, I just pick and review and then make sure everything looks fine and then click submit. That's it. So now I can add these, what is this, initial intake form in both, uh, Japanese, Spanish, and also Korean. All right, so let's save and close. The way this works, now that you have it here in the admin, if you wanted to open or even print it in Korean, just go to your caseworker, click on questionnaire and print, and then you'll see it right here. And so Korean is now available. I can translate this and then print it and give it to my Korean clients. This is as easy as that. And again, you probably feel like, oh my God, it's a lot of work. But yeah, imagine how long it's taking your clients to open an email, download an attachment, type on a Word document, save it, attach it back to the email, send it to you, then you have to download it, type the same information again. It's a lot of work. And so it's a lot easier to create a custom intake form, send it to them. How do you send it? Well, if you click on create questionnaire and say send it to my client, I'm going to type the name of the client and I want to send it as a passwordless link. Especially if you are subscribed to our SMS module, you can send them a text message or even copy that link into WhatsApp web. My client prefers Korean. I'm going to send this initial intake form in Korean. I'm going to say save, and she's going to verify her identity in Korean, right? I'm going to send her a text message, or again, I can send an email. I can copy that to the clipboard. So I'll just say send text message. Do not show my name. So I'm going to hide my name so that it doesn't say message from Vanessa, just message from Law Office of Cerenade. And here you go. You can type Korean if you want. But anyways, the idea is that now my client gets a text message. She's going to click on the link and open that questionnaire from her cell phone in Korean, complete the questionnaire and send it back. We don't translate the answers, by the way. It's just a questionnaire, the questions and the instructions. You can also add or set up a reminder, meaning the system can send them a reminder once a day, every 3 days, or once a week. Again, maybe text message, but stop sending reminders after November 15th. If by then they haven't responded to that questionnaire, do not remind them anymore. And just to give you an idea, whenever your client access that text message and opens that questionnaire, it looks like this. By the way, logging in into the client portal because I don't have obviously that text message, but I just want you to see what happens when they click on the link from their cell phone. It opens the questionnaire right away in Korean, and they see the data that we have captured so far. So how did you hear about this law firm? What's a custom field? You can use the system as a CRM. You can gather all this data, how your clients are knowing about your law firm. And so you can run a report. Is it really worth paying Google ads for campaign for my law firm? Or most of my clients are here because word of mouth. Anyway, so you can also use the system as a CRM. So let's say friend refer me to your law firm. That's going to be the response. Oops. And the name of the person was probably incorrect. Let's call it Valentina, Valeria Valentina Marie, or whatever. And then what else can I change? I'm going to modify her date of birth. All right. Once you, once the client enters the data, they can send it back to you. But talk to your clients, let them know that they can always print this and keep a record for them. They can save it to their device or print it and send it back to you when they're ready. Sorry, there's a question. Does that require to have client access into Cerenade portal? No, no, they don't have to access the client portal. They can just open the text message via. So technically nowadays they don't even need an email address. You can just ask them, do you have a cell phone? What's your cell phone number? And then initiate the process. All right, I'm gonna close this. Whenever a client sends a questionnaire back to you, you get an email from us. But if you're not, connect, or like you probably didn't get the email, or you're the paralegal, you can also see this indicator. So you can go here, look at the name of the person. We also show you the name of the questionnaire and the dates. Open the questionnaire, and then you'll see how everything they modify is going to be highlighted. You can also click to see what was there before, and you need to accept in order for this to update. Now, the way this works, once you have the profile ready with all the details, is you're going to create the case, as we talked about earlier. And actually, did you know that you can access a shortcut? It's under Actions, Select, Load More Data. So you can go straight to a case, or you can also look at all the cases for the same client at the same time and use the same shortcut, Load More Data, to access a form. So it's a lot easier and faster. Um, Anyways, I'm gonna open a form. I wonder which one. Uh, you know what? I'll just open the A64. All right, so I'm opening a form. Notice that the data has been updated. You can see this form has like the mailing address, or I can choose, which address. It tells you on the left, alien info goes here, or petitioner info goes here. So that's how you can tell whose information. But yeah, let me transfer. Depending on what you select, then it transfers the data. So one of the things that we recommend when using our forms is that you open multiple tabs so that you can go back and forth and notice if something's wrong. Let's say Miranda's information is incorrect. I can easily just go and fix it on another screen. So I'm going to locate. In fact, it's a lot faster if I just type Miranda. Who's Miranda's? Oh, Miranda's Francisco's probably daughter. All right, so let's go to Francisco's members. All right, here we go. Miranda. All right, so I'm gonna click on Miranda's account, and instead of changing just, that form, because eventually I'm gonna have to keep changing other forms, I'm just gonna modify here. Again, I'm gonna modify the information, save it, go back to the form, and refresh. And the way you refresh is by clicking on the red button. Click Select Party. Oh, so the question is, how do I get to the form? Um, so the browser has different tabs, and all I did was switch back to the tab where it says Serenade, and I have the form. Now that you're in the form, you click Select Party and then click on Miranda's name. That's how you update. Look at the date of birth. It's not correct, and it's also correct here. It doesn't say test anymore. So anytime that you want to overwrite, excuse me, you can overwrite a form, but it stays only on this form. And if you made a mistake, you can undo. All right. You can also add a post-it, like a sticky note. Is this correct? Please confirm your date of birth. You could also type anywhere on the form. And if you don't want to print these forms with the sticky notes or type anywhere, you can just uncheck that. Also, some of these forms have the additional entries section where you can choose. This one doesn't really have any additional entries that I need to select. But just so you know, if you click on the red button, the system auto-populates the page, part, and item numbers for you. Okay, see, let me know if you guys have any questions about form tools or features. One of the things that I added to my PowerPoint presentation was something that I want to cover that's going to save you time. It's called form defaults. It's in the administrator portal. Click on form defaults. And this is going to save you time because you don't have to redo the whole thing again for every single form. Let's say the N400. Every time that we do an N400, I would like the form to be completed in a certain way, such as these answers. No, 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 no. So moving forward, because I've modified my defaults, every time that I move, sorry, that every time that I open an N400, it's gonna have the questions already responded with the no. We will transfer what's in the system, meaning the client's answer for N400 says yes, then we transfer the yes, right? Regardless of the default. So keep that in mind. Also know that if the USCIS changes the form, you have to re-update your defaults. All right. Hopefully we change that face into a happy face once you go through all these. So let me show you templates, reports, and document assembly. Number one, okay, so custom reports. If you are subscribed to this optional module, in fact, you should, you should because it's going to save you time and money. If you create a report, it could be any report. Like, the question I was just asked, I want to run a report to know by alien number all of my court hearings. So this is the benefit of using a report template. So I don't have to recreate it every single time. And the criteria is going to be the filter that you want to use. So what exactly am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for all my appointments that are equal to this court hearing or and I can pick, just give me bond hearing or vacation or, just select the type of appointment. And I'm going to also add the alien number. Give me anyone that has, I'm telling you, this should be by, it should be organized alphabetically. Every time I download your PowerPoint presentation, I see the presentation maybe by another person. Hmm? Sorry, I'm reading a question. It says, every time I download your PowerPoint, I see the presentation made by another person. I am not following. I uploaded the same presentation that I'm using today. Let me double check. Handouts. Yep, it should be the same one that I'm using. But if it's giving you an error, just email me or email our technical support so that we can send you the correct one. All right, sorry about that. So the reports, you just have to choose the criteria. Also be aware of what operator you're using because it can say and then I'm limiting my results. Or I can probably say, or give me a client reminder that shows court hearing notes or, okay? Um, Here I'm going to say equal to or starts with, contains, and then the columns is what I was telling you earlier that you can add as many columns as needed. Just keep in mind that sometimes you may end up with duplicates. Client name. and I'm gonna sort by name. Let's move this up. All right, so now let's see how many do we have with this. All right, so it's three appointments, I guess, and these are the dates based on the criteria that I chose, which was court hearing with this alien number. Now, when you create a report to save you time, we suggest that you schedule that. Okay, you're welcome. Um, Scheduling the report, this is when you save time, and I'll tell you why you can save money. You can select the type of format, how often you want to send this report, maybe on a weekly basis. I would like to know how many payments did we get. Mm, all right, looks like the recording stopped. All right, so I'm going to schedule the report. So on a weekly basis, the system sends an Excel spreadsheet to my accounting department to know how many payments we got daily and send this report until 2030. You can save time and money because my accounting person hasn't, they don't have to pay for a license to access e-immigration to see this report. You'll save time because you don't have to download the report and then attach it and send it. If you have questions, like I said, you can always contact us or just click to watch the videos. Also, letter templates are probably an area of opportunity you haven't been using. It's a feature that can save you time because you can just add the report, the letter template, sorry, and you can customize it by adding tags. For example, let's say that I want the logo here centered and I want the name to auto-populate, so I'm going to use these tags. Or you can also switch and locate under tools the tag helper. The tag helper, as the name says, is going to help you locate the tag. So maybe I want the alien number to populate as well. So I just copy, go back and paste it and save it. Now, every time that I use this Nuevo Cuestionario template, then it's going to populate that alien number. Let's take a look. If we go to a case, access the documents, I'm going to click on letters, and then I'm going to add, oops, no, I don't want to create one. I'm going to add it from the predefined list, which was that Nuevo Cuestionario. All right, so let's add it and see what happens. Let's preview it. I think I added the wrong one. All right, here we go. So it populates the name and the alien number and any other detail like my contact info at the bottom. But that's going to save you time because you can just email it from here or download a PDF or Word document. Now, assuming that we have all the forms and we've got the evidence and these letter templates or cover letters, you create your package by using document assembly. While the document assembly, I'm going to create one for the adjustment of status, and I just have to select the forms here and move them into the package, as well as the documents or evidence and the letter templates, maybe not this one, and then just drag and drop. So if that cover letter goes here, and then the passport goes here, and then, so it's a lot easy, sorry, it's a lot easier to create the table of contents because the system updates the page numbers accordingly. That's going to save you so much time. You could also email or download the document assembly. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to show you what happens if you have questions in the future. First of all, a did you know section. Please make sure you download my PowerPoint presentation so that you can click on these links and learn more about the letter templates and the tag helper, automatic appointments or sorry, payments. Here's a case document assembly. Did you know that we have e-filing? Also, a great feature to consider if you don't have it yet, because you can also import data from the CBP website and you can file the DS-160 or USCIS forms or the ETA 9089. So make sure that you contact our team if you're interested in e-filing. All right, so resources and support. You can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays, or email us 24/7. You can also click on your home screen on the top right for the technical support team and send us a message or send your feedback to developers. You can click on the user's guide, access these trainings, or join us for free on Fridays. And we have a podcast and a Facebook forum page, as well as a YouTube channel that I told you about. If, in fact, if you haven't yet subscribed, click on the links to subscribe to the channel. Now, here are the questions that you guys submitted. How to create a bill and process payments via client portal. So you need to be subscribed to the optional module billing. I put the links right here so that you learn how to customize them and how to create the invoice, or give them access. But just really quick, so that it's in here. Um, Go into your admin, customize your billing items. Once you have those, kind of like how much, what the type is, code, description, right? Then you can create those expenses by going into the case window. Under billing, you'll see expenses and charges. So you can add them here. I'll say no process. I'm going to just choose one item, and after you add the expense, you can include that into your invoice. So basically, once you have that invoice, then you can send it to your client or allow them to log in into the client portal to pay online. That's if you have the credit card processing module. All right. If you want your clients to process payments via the client portal, then you also need to be subscribed to the credit card processing module. We work with LawPay or PayPal. And of course, you need to link those to your eIMMIGRATION account. Next question was how to customize questionnaires for family-based adjustment of status cases. Well, we talked about this today. I use TPS, but it's basically the same thing. Just go under System Intake Forms and use the ones that we already have. Here's a video for more information. Lastly, how can we create reminders for recurring tasks and organize workflows? You can utilize reminders from both contact and case profiles, as well as case process steps, to organize your workflows. And we also recommend that you use a general dashboard called Tickler, as well as the optional module custom reports, which can be scheduled and automatically shared. I did cover all of these today, but again, click on the links to get more information. So the next training is going to be a basic one for new users on October 27th. And then we'll provide you with the links to register for November and December appointments. I can't believe it. We're done with 2023 almost. So please connect with us. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions, I'm going to stick around. If you have to go, before you go, please, oh Lord, where is the poll? Please, before you go, let me know so I can sleep tonight. Your questions were addressed during the webinar. If not, no hard feelings. Just contact us. We want to help you. Like I said, there's a lot to cover, yes, but the system is so robust that you can take advantage of those settings and features, but take it one step at a time. Contact us if you need help or questions. We want to help you and your team work more efficiently and grow your practice, right? All right, so thank you so much for voting. And again, on behalf of Cerenade, thank you for joining us today. And please connect with us so we can assist you. Have a great weekend. Uh, it will not let me download the PowerPoint. What email should I use to request it? Let me give you my email. If you didn't get to download my PowerPoint, email me and I'll send it to you when the video is ready. I'll send you the link as well. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. I will also complete the survey as well. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Have a great weekend as well. You're welcome. Thank you all for joining us. So if you have any questions in general, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Just send me a message. If not, you can disconnect and have an amazing weekend. Take care. All right, so we don't see any other questions coming through. I'm going to end the session. And again, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.